oh, you thought the predictions for 2019 were done. I think this is probably going to be the last prediction video of this current season because I don't know there's much else to predict. We did the regular season, we did the postseason, we did the awards. Now we got the Gold Glove Awards because in the last day or two, they released the Gold Glove Award finalists, 3 guys at each position in each league, and out of those 3, someone's going to win it. So it kind of makes the decision a little bit easier for me as well as structuring the video. So I thought it would be a perfect time to release my Gold Glove Award predictions. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like. That's the best way to show your support. Subscribe if you're new and you enjoy the content. I just hit 115,000 subscribers on the channel. Thank you so much for the amazing support. If you ain't clicked that sub button yet, do it now. Join the team. Remember to get in the comment section down below. Tell me who you think's gonna win the Gold Glove Award or maybe a dark horse pick. I'd love to see what you guys have to say. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at GiraffeNeckMarc. Links are in the description down below. I'm always talking baseball over there. So it's simple. I'm gonna give you my prediction as to who I think is gonna win the Gold Glove at each position in each league. I'm gonna use basically 2 different ways to decide. I'm gonna go off the eye test, like personally just watching baseball, who I think should win it. I'm also gonna be using 3 defensive metrics on Fangraphs to help aid me in my decision. Those 3 metrics are gonna be DRS, UZR, and DEF. DRS, or defensive runs saved, is a defensive statistic that rates individual players as above or below average on defense. UZR stands for Ultimate Zone Rating and is one of the most widely used publicly available defensive statistics. UZR puts a run value to defense, attempting to quantify how many runs a player saved or gave up through their fielding prowess. And then DEF, defensive runs above average, measures a player's defensive value relative to league average. So using the eye test and those 3 defensive metrics, I'm going to tell you who I think wins the Gold Glove at each position. Let's start off in the American League. In the American League, we have Jose Barrios of the Twins, Lucas Giolito of the White Sox, and Mike Leake of the Mariners. Pitching's a little more difficult to pick who's going to win this one because a lot of the defensive metrics aren't necessarily available, so I'm really going off a lot of eye tests. I personally think it's going to be Jose Barrios. I remember a lot of the spectacular plays he's made this year in the field. He's super athletic off the mound. I think he's probably one of the better fielding pitchers. Mike Leake is too, but Mike Leake's kind of boring, so I'm going to pick Jose Barrios to win it in the American League. At the catcher position, we got Danny Jansen, Christian Vasquez, and Roberto Perez. Roberto Perez has been known as a defensive catcher, and this year he actually started to hit. Danny Jansen, not much of a hitter. And Christian Vasquez, same thing, defensive catcher starting to hit. Off the eye test, I'd probably go with Roberto Perez. Statistically, Roberto Perez ranks the highest on defensive runs saved. In terms of pitch framing, he's the 3rd highest behind Christian Vasquez. And then straight up DEF, it's Christian Vasquez in first with Roberto Perez in second. It's very close, but I think Roberto Perez gets that catcher. First base, we got Yuli Gurriel, Matt Olson, and Justin Smoke. Justin Smoke, a rare find on here because he's not typically known as a defensive first baseman, but obviously he made improvements this year. Yuli Gurriel, same thing, made improvements at first base, but I feel like the obvious choice here has to be Matt Olson. If you're a guy who played first base and watched this guy play, he's probably one of the better right-handed first basemen defensively in the game. Makes a lot of really good plays, is quick off his feet, athletic, and the stats definitely back it up. He has the highest DRS in the American League by over 10 runs. He has more than double the UZR of both finalists at first base, and he's just straight up a good fielder. It's Matt Olson at first. Second base, Jose Altuve, the AL MVP DJ LeMahieu.
Of course, I'm not serious.
And Yolmer Sanchez of the White Sox. Altuve, best second baseman in the game defensively. He's not my pick. Yolmer Sanchez is really sound at second base, like probably deserves it. Do I think he's gonna win it though? No. I think it's gonna be DJ LeMahieu. LeMahieu has been one of the best fielding second basemen in baseball to begin with, and I think that even though he played a bunch of different positions this year, that's almost gonna help him. And even as a second baseman this year, he was still very good. 4th in DRS, Yolmer Sanchez was first. 3rd in UZR, again, Yolmer Sanchez was first. I told you, the guy deserves it, but he's probably not gonna win it. And then 4th in DEF, again, behind Yolmer Sanchez. So like I said, Yolmer Sanchez deserves it. I would like to see him win it, but I think DJ LeMahieu's gonna end up getting it. At third base, we got Alex Bregman, David Fletcher, and Matt Chapman. Bregman, you guys know, I love him. I think he's so good, and I think he's underrated defensively, but that doesn't mean he wins the Gold Glove. David Fletcher, solid player. Thanks for playing, because there's one guy. It's a one-horse race. It's Matt Chapman. You don't pick against Matt Chapman in the Gold Glove. The dude is nasty at third base. If you watch this guy play third base on a regular basis, he is special. He makes some crazy plays. He is the best fielding third baseman in the league. Statistically, backs it up too. More than double the DRS of both finalists. Almost 3 times as much UZR as both finalists. And his DEF is just much higher than everyone. It's Matt Chapman. That's the choice at third base. Shortstop's an interesting one. You have 3 legitimate candidates. Andrelton Simmons, who, yeah, I mean, it's Andrelton Simmons. He's a beast. He's Matt Chapman at shortstop. Francisco Lindor, who is unbelievably underrated as a shortstop. And Marcus Semien, another guy who defensively is fantastic. This one's tough. My gut's telling me Andrelton Simmons because who's better than him at shortstop? But when you take a look at the statistics, it's a little closer than we thought. Now, he is first in DRS by a pretty good margin over Lindor and Semien, and he has a good margin over them in UZR, but then when you look at DEF, Marcus Semien's very close to Andrelton Simmons. Simmons is still the best shortstop. He's gonna win it. I'd like to see someone else, though. Give Francisco Lindor or Semien a Gold Glove, but it's gonna be Andrelton. On to the outfield we go. We start off in left field, where we got Robbie Grossman, Alex Gordon, and Andrew Benintendi. Robbie Grossman, I don't see it. I don't know. He's just a little boring to me. me. Andrew Benintendi, I think, is very good as an outfielder. I like seeing him finally get recognition. I'm gonna go with Alex Gordon, who on the eye test, he's probably the best fielding left fielder in baseball. Now, when you look at DRS, Alex Gordon or any of these guys aren't even the #1 spot. Michael Brantley holds that, so interesting. UZR, Alex Gordon ranks the highest, and DEF, again, Alex Gordon ranks the highest. So he might not be necessarily the right choice. Like, Michael Brantley looks like he might have gotten snubbed a bit, but out of the guys that are available, it's gonna be Alex Gordon. Center field, we got Kevin Kiermaier, Mike Trout, and Jackie Bradley Jr. I want to see Mike Trout win the Gold Glove. I love Mike Trout. Like, just make his legacy even better than it's already going to be. Give him the Gold Glove. Does he deserve it, though? Probably not. Kevin Kiermaier is disgusting out in center field, and he better be, because the dude basically swings a wet noodle at the plate. Doesn't hit much. Now, defensively, DRS, Kevin Kiermaier is miles away from Mike Trout and Jackie Bradley. 13 compared to -1 from both of them. UZR, of course, again, not even close. He has a positive score of 6.9, while Bradley and Trout are in the negatives. And then DEF, again, Kiermaier, 8.7 to Trout and Bradley under 1. Kiermaier is your Gold Glover in center field. In our final position of the American League, we got right field, where we got Cole Calhoun, Mookie Betts, and Josh Reddick. Cole Calhoun, Mookie Betts, and Josh Reddick might be the hardest one to pick. There's a lot of great fielders there. Mookie Betts, as we know, one of the better players in baseball, defensively elite, could play any position, center field as well if he wanted. I'm leaning towards him, but I'm going to need to take a look at the stats for this one a little bit more. Now in DRS, we got Mookie Betts in first with 15, followed by Reddick with 9, and Cole Calhoun with -1. UZR, Mookie Betts leads at 12.9, followed by Calhoun, then Josh Reddick. And then just straight up DEF, it's Mookie Betts by a very clear margin. So, I mean, eye test, the numbers, it seems like they don't lie. Mookie Betts in right field for the Gold Glove. Which means we finished the American League, and now on to the National League predictions. Starting off at pitcher in the National League, we got Zach Greinke, Jack Flaherty, and Aaron Nola. All three of these pitchers very athletic. From what I've seen, Zach Greinke's probably one of the better fielding pitchers in baseball, if not the best. The dude is just always in a position to make a play. Jack Flaherty, really good too. My pick's gonna be Zach Greinke, although Aaron Nola does have a higher DRS than Greinke by 1, but I don't know, I feel like Greinke's gonna get it. At the catcher position, we got Austin Hedges, JT Realmuto, and of course, Yadier Molina. Now, Yadier Molina, one of the best defensive catchers of all time, but if you look at his defensive numbers in the past few years, he has completely gone downhill. He is not the same. So Yadi's not winning it. It's really down to Realmuto and Hedges. Now, Realmuto's always been an underrated defensive catcher, but this year, they're finally starting to take notice. Hedges has always been a defensive catcher. The dude can't hit a lick. He's like Kevin Kiermaier of catchers. I'm gonna end up picking Austin Hedges here. Now, while he didn't catch as many innings as JT Realmuto, the innings he did catch, that's all he does. He's good at defense. That's the only reason he's on a major league team. He's got the highest DRS in the National League for catchers, double what JT Realmuto's is. He's got the best frame rate in the league, again, much higher than JT Realmuto, but their DEF, JT Realmuto has the advantage by 0.2. Still going with Austin Hedges, elite framer, elite catcher defensively. Think he just gets it here. Can't wait to see all the biased comments in the comment section. At first base, we got Christian Walker of the Arizona Diamondbacks, former University of South Carolina Gamecock. We also got Paul Goldschmidt and Anthony Rizzo. What makes this battle of the first baseman interesting is that when you look at the numbers, it tells you different things for everybody. Christian Walker's got the highest DRS. Rizzo and Goldschmidt have higher UZRs than Walker, but then when you go to DEF, it goes Rizzo, Walker, Goldschmidt. So I don't think Paul Goldschmidt's the pick. It's really between Walker and Rizzo. As much as I want to give it to my South Carolina Gamecock, it's going to be Anthony Rizzo. At second base, we got Adam Frazier, Ozzie Albies, and Colton Wong. Now, all the Cardinals fans love to tell me how good of a fielder Colton Wong is, but I think he's a little bit overrated. I don't know. Every time I watch him play, I feel like he makes really easy mistakes. Don't get me wrong, he's obviously good. Like, there's no reason that everyone would say he's great, but I just feel like every time I watch him play, he screws up. Adam Frazier, doesn't excite me. Ozzie Albies, on the other hand, now that's a guy who I like to watch play second base. I think he's really solid out there. So my pick's Ozzie Albies. The numbers, here's what they say. DRS-wise, Colton Wong's in first by a good margin, 14 DRS opposed to 8 and 6. UZR, again, Colton Wong over both Frazier and Ozzie Albies. And DEF, Colton Wong wins it. So he sweeps the board statistically. He's probably going to be the choice, but I'm just going to go with Ozzie Albies here as a dark horse pick. Third base, Nolan Arenado, Anthony Rendon, Josh Donaldson. I love seeing these three on there. Obviously, Arenado, everyone knows how good he is defensively, but I love seeing Rendon on there because I always say he's good defensively. People tell me otherwise. And Josh Donaldson just showing he still has it at third base because he's been a really good fielder at third with the Blue Jays in the past. This one's obvious though. It's Nolan Arenado. Like, eye test statistics, Arenado is the best third baseman in the National League. What's crazy is that him and Matt Chapman played on the same high school baseball team. Arenado was short, Chapman was third. How did anyone get a ground ball through that side of the infield in high school? Now, he is second in DRS behind Josh Donaldson, but when you look at UZR and DEF, it's a different story. UZR, he has a full 7-point lead over the next highest third baseman, which is Manny Machado, and DEF, he has an even bigger lead, so I'm sticking with Arenado as my choice at third. Shortstop, Paul DeYoung, great fielding shortstop, Trevor Story, and Nick Ahmed. Now, Nick Ahmed's won it in the past. He's super solid defensively, and he actually did well at the plate this year, too. Trevor Story and Paul DeYoung, I think, two underrated shortstops, specifically Story, who I don't think gets enough credit for how good he is defensively. I actually think it goes to Paul DeYoung here. I think he's really good as a shortstop. Like, again, not enough people talking about him. He's probably the best fielding shortstop in the National League, and the numbers back up DeYoung. Now, his DRS DRS, he's not actually higher than Story or Ahmed, who both rank higher than him, but his UZR, he's in first place by a clear margin. And same thing with his DEF, he ranks both higher than Story and Ahmed. So I'm going with Paul DeJong at short. Left field might be the hardest one for me here because I don't consider any of these guys great fielders. Juan Soto, again, I love how he plays at the plate. In the outfield, it's a bit of a mess. David Peralta and Hunter Renfroe. Hunter Renfroe, another guy who I don't necessarily watch and go, man, he plays a great left field, but the numbers say otherwise. So for this one, I'm really gonna have to look at numbers because I'm like, none of these guys are really great. DRS, David Peralta's in first place, followed by Hunter Renfroe. UZR, again, David Peralta in first place by a clear margin. Renfroe and Soto are towards the bottom. And then DEF out of the finalists, David Peralta's the highest. So I'll give it to the freight train, David Peralta. Shout out to Bengal. Center field, we got Victor Robles of the Nationals, Lorenzo Cain of the Brewers, and Harrison Bader of the Cardinals. Sorry, Victor Robles and Bader, you guys are unbelievable fielders. Great range, great athleticism, great arms. It is finally time Lorenzo Cain wins a Gold Glove. Yes, you heard that correctly. Lorenzo Cain has never won a Gold Glove, and he has been one of the better defensive center fielders in baseball for quite some time. But now in the National League, Lorenzo Cain reigns king. Wow, that was tough to say. Statistically, though, it's fairly close. Cain is second behind Victor Robles in DRS. He's second to Harrison Bader in UZR, who just dominates that position. And then DEF, Harrison Bader wins it as well, but I'm telling you right now, it's time for Lorenzo Cain to win. Give this man a Gold Glove. And then for the final position of this video, as well as for the National League, we've got right field, where we've got Bryce Harper, Jason Hayward, and Cody Bellinger. Harper's an interesting one, because the year prior with the Nationals, he was one of the worst fielding outfielders in baseball. Might have been because he knew a contract was coming and didn't want to get hurt. But he had a lot of assists out there in the outfield this year. He's got a cannon, and he played a pretty good right field. Jason Hayward, that's pretty much his only value, is out in the field. But Cody Bellinger, what a year this guy has. He might be one of the better outfielders in all of baseball defensively. Ton of assists, cannon of an arm, super athletic. I mean, the range this guy has in the outfield, balls that he can get to are pretty wild. I'm picking Cody Bellinger. Like, I don't even care what the numbers say. Straight off eye test, I'm like, he's the best. Give it to him. It's Cody Bellinger. Take it. Now, as for the numbers, Cody Bellinger, top DRS in right field. Bryce Harper actually has the top UZR, but Cody Bellinger is a close second. And then DEF, go figure, Hunter Renfroe's technically the highest in right field in baseball, but he's not up for it in right field. He's up in left. Whereas strictly for right field, Cody Bellinger has the highest DEF. So it's Cody Bellinger's. He's winning the Gold Glove in right field. Those are my predictions as to who I think is going to win the Gold Glove at every position in each league. I would love to know what you guys think about down in the comments below. It's going to be tough for you to comment every single position. I get that, but maybe tell me a few guys you thought I got right, or maybe even wrong. If you did enjoy the video, guys, it would be much appreciated by me if you could leave a like. That would help out the channel, as well as subscribe. And if you're new, you love baseball, click that sub button, join the team. If you made it this far, I might be streaming on Twitch tonight. I don't know if I want to stream any more of the World Series. I've been a little tired. But check around Game Time or follow me on Twitter so you can see if I tweet it out. Twitch.tv/GiraffeNeckMarc. And that's honestly gonna wrap up today's video. The predictions for 2019 season are over. There's nothing else to do. The next time you see a prediction video, it'll probably be the free agent predictions for 2020. There's only a few games left in the 2019 baseball season. We're almost done. It's crazy to think about, but there's so much 2020 content coming towards this channel, and even more stuff that you guys probably haven't even thought about. We're gonna wrap up the video right here. You guys know the drill. YouTube recommends you watch this video right here, as well as this is my most recent upload. So click through those if you have not yet seen them. Thank you so much for watching today's video, guys, and I will see you all next time.